Bill Burr. That's your name, right?
Yeah. Stage name.
That's not your stage name.
It is stage name. I was Bill Burrowitz, and I was afraid of prejudice against my non-Jewish heritage.
Are you Jewish?
No.
I just got back from Israel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How was it?
Have you ever been?
No, I haven't.
It is. I was blown away. I've always wanted to go. I had a lot of friends that had been a bunch of times, and I said, next time you're going, take me. And so one of the guys put together this trip, and we went, and it was fucking amazing. And
really?
The thing that blew me away was the food was amazing. Like I go to a place and like I went to Cuba, and the food, everything else was great, but the food was terrible.
How were the cigars, though?
Well, I don't smoke cigars.
You don't smoke cigars?
No, I don't.
So what'd you go there for?
What did I go to Cuba for?
Yeah, that's like going to Jamaica and you don't smoke weed. I don't get that.
I went to Cuba for an art trip with like a delegation. We called it a delegation.
Oh, okay.
From the Aspen.
Well, that's
Art
actually
Museum.
cool. Okay.
Yeah. So we went and it was the biennial in Havana, and I went with a big group, and so we looked at a bunch of art. But I mean, if I smoked one cigar, I would fucking puke. That's just
You don't inhale though. Well, plus you don't start.
What do you mean?
with
I don't know what I do. I mean, I would inhale.
Yeah, you don't do that. Whatever. You start with a small one. We'd get you on a Dutch Master. We'd work your way up. You probably don't need to.
Yeah.
At this point in your career of living, you don't.
Actually, at this point, it really doesn't matter. So, Bill, it doesn't matter.
I know that feeling.
We've talked about this. So the first time that I got to know you, and I want to be fully transparent here, was you were on Conan. So whatever. Let me back up. My shit goes where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I do Oprah. Probably 2 or 3 weeks later, then after Oprah, the whole world is like, oh my God, we got to lynch this guy.
Right.
2 or 3 weeks later, you go on Conan, and you just spontaneously did this shtick, which I didn't see. And my manager said, dude, you got to watch this. And I was like, no, I'm not watching anything. I ain't watching shit. Just assuming.
And I was going to trash you.
Right. It was going to be just, Right.
It's too easy. Everyone was doing that.
Of course.
You got to go the other way.
So then like a month or two later, he's like, man, you really have to watch this. And we had been out and been at this thing and had, enough drinks. And I was like, okay, play it. And you're on there fucking doing your thing. I was like, I love this guy.
I'm trying to remember the bit.
The bit was
sociopath on a bike. That was it.
That's fine. That's right. And Oprah stood on the head of midgets.
Oh yeah, how she got where she was.
Yeah,
that's
how
right.
she get where she
because
was.
I remember when she first started. Now she's like doing the whole mothering everybody and doing all that, which I get. But when she had to do what she had to do, that's right. When she first had her show, it was very like in the vein of what Springer and those shows ended up going.
Or Maury Povich.
Maury Povich, yeah, those types of guys. Oh, that's right.
And then you said, is everybody going to give up their yachts?
Oh, all the people that made money off of you, who are like, this guy does not represent the sport, and blah, 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 right? Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But we're keeping all the money that we made off of this guy. Dude, the amount of people that tuned in alone, I don't give a shit what sport it is, even if you don't watch it. If there's someone that's on a streak, you just get pulled into it. And it was something I actually always watched it every year. I don't know why. The Tour de France to me was just always cool. Tour de France was always just cool to me. So I always watched it. And then all these other people started watching it, and I'd been watching it for years. And and they made a bunch of money off you. So I just thought it was like, okay, so they didn't like what you did, and they think it's bullshit, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, then if you got to give back your shit, then shouldn't they give back all the money that they made off of you? Which is basically was the bit.
And then you said, our drugs are better than your drugs, and
all those guys, all the people testing positive, yeah.
But it was you really were in that space. Like you were don't want to start this podcast like this, but I have to thank you. You were like the first guy, unbeknownst to me, that had my back, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically...
You weren't trying to get my back, I don't think.
I was just being a contrarian is what I was doing.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
I was calling out those other people, that made the money off of you. You know what I mean? Because there's a bunch and also, not to mention, there's also a bunch of other shit that goes on that, whatever reason does not stay in check or whatever. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but I'm glad you enjoyed the bit. Because, I mean, I wouldn't know if you would have liked it enough. You would have got pissed. But that's one of the things that, as a comedian, that, sometimes people get mad. Sometimes they like it. And a lot of times they never see it. A lot of times they just don't give a shit.
Right.
But my only thing is, like, sometimes if I talk about somebody else who's famous or something like that, if they think that I really mean something and I don't, I'm fucking around. I'm fucking around.
You're riffing.
Yeah, I'm fucking around.
You're riffing.
And, I would never do the holier than thou thing because, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. So,
all right. So I'll just tell you how many people. You think nobody's seen it? Let's see how many people have seen it. Hey, you have a lot more hair in this YouTube picture, I must say.
Yes, I did. I was already losing it.
Okay, so just so you know, there's at this point on YouTube, if you go to YouTube, you type in Bill Burr and Lance Armstrong, 6.5 million people have watched it.
Wow.
That's a fucking lot of people.
That is. That's one of the highest.
So I'm going to say it again. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Dude, how hard is it to be a comedian? Like, I mean, I don't know.
It's not as hard as riding a bicycle up a fucking mountain range for a month.
That's different. That's way different. Like that's so simple to do. Like if you're, it's like saying the 100-meter dash. Like, we say Mark Cassette go. Whoever gets there first, he's good. Right?
But there's pacing yourself. There's doing all like I would actually be more terrified to, what do you call the thing where everybody is because of the P? The Peloton or whatever the hell it's called.
Peloton.
Yeah. That's the fucking thing I would not want to be in when everybody's going 60 miles an hour and you're just all side by side. And then the most fucked up thing is how your feet are like almost like tied to the pedals with those shoes. It's
wait, back up. Almost tied?
Yeah, tied.
Totally tied.
Totally tied. So like like you're just going, like if you're on a motorcycle, at least if you don't high side, you can kind of let it go out from and just let go of the bike. You're still going to get fucked up with those things. It's like you're going with it. And like just watching, you got those little shorts on. It just looks, this looks like the most painful thing. The agony over the years that I saw when you go through the cobblestones and all those types of things. So,
wait, so the idea of going 50 miles an hour in spandex and hitting the ground
with my feet tied to the pedals
doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, I would rather try to learn. I would rather go through the humiliation again of learning how to do stand-up comedy than, than fall going 60 miles an hour.
Right. Well, that happens, but that's all. I mean, you get up from those.
What's the worst one you ever had?
I had the worst one. Well, let me back up. I was very lucky. I didn't have many big crashes. The only broken bone I ever had was a broken collarbone, which was in 2009. I had before that, 2009 was the comeback years, but before that, in the the years of the 7 tours, I had crashes with road rash and I had some big ones, but nothing significant. Oh. But I was lucky.
Yeah,
the shit can get because I've been on a team with somebody that dies in a race, which is very, very rare. That happens, once every decade. But no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Early on, did it happen a lot more? As far as people dying in that, or is it just...
I think early on, more people died. Later on, more people crashed. So for whatever reason, the consequences early on were more serious. And then later on, there were more incidents, but they just got a broken bone or a road rash or
yeah, the new helmets and stuff that they had as opposed to like.
Well, technology has evolved. When I started racing, we didn't have helmets. We raced with no helmets, and then helmets became mandatory, and then all this stuff gets better. Wheels get better, brakes get better, shit gets better, and now we'll get to disc brakes, which will make it a lot better. The key is that the roads didn't necessarily, the road surface got better, but the traffic control stuff, highway furniture got worse, where they have all this shit up there to control traffic.
Right. I see a lot where like people on the motorcycles will hit somebody on a bike. The guys, like motorcycle guys for like the other teams, will come up and they'll clip somebody or something like that.
That was, that's gotten a lot of, which happens.
Right.
Ain't good.
Those are the YouTube videos I watch.
Oh yeah,
I watch those. I watch the yachts smashing into each other. I watch
the yacht catching on fire.
Bully fails. I watch that. Oh, by the way, I haven't seen the yacht catching on fire, but I just watching those things now that I know like roughly how much they cost. Just watching watching all of those things.
CNN.
Like it's like $1 million a meter is what they say for those things, and you just look at those.